is that, hey, what if you actually focus and go super hard for the first 2 weeks of the month? So that way you already set yourself up to hit quota for the month, and then you can prepare yourself for the next month, and so that you're kind of building kind of that huge pipeline for the entire quarter. Hey everybody, this is Morgan J. Ingram here, host of the SDR Chronicles. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the Chronicles thus far, as it provides sales development knowledge, sales leadership knowledge, and sales knowledge in general for your career as you continue to advance. And the topic that I'm going to go into today is why you need to be hyper-focused on the first 2 weeks of every single month. And this is something that I learned as an SDR, is I always, towards like the third week or the last week of the month, I was always pushing to kind of get those last meetings set up so I could hit quota. And, I would get the quota or I would overexceed it, but it was always that rush, and I had to refill my pipeline for the next month every single time. So it was like I won the month, but then I was like, I got to rebuild again. So what I kind of tell my reps, and what I've actually discovered the formula is, I did this in actually Q4 of last year. So obviously one of the hardest months, in your SDR career is going to probably be around October, November, and December. Basically that quarter is because there's that actually Thanksgiving week in November, you have Christmas in December, people are taking off. So you have to be very, very strategic in Q4 to make sure that you hit quota every single month. And so something that I learned is that, hey, what if you actually focus and go super hard for the first 2 weeks of the month? So that way you already set yourself up to hit quota for the month, and then you can prepare yourself for the next month, and so that you're kind of building kind of that huge pipeline for the entire quarter. And that's kind of what I did for Q4, Q1, and Q2. I did that, and I actually saw way more success than my other strategy. And so really why this is important is because it's going to allow you to hit quota earlier, and it's actually going to allow you to build pipeline earlier in the month so that you can go and hit it, as I said, and then you're actually going to prepare for the next month already. So it actually gives you a frame of a mindset that actually eases yourself into the next thing that you want to do. So the first 2 weeks, you hit quota. The third week, you're basically managing your schedule, make sure every demo runs or the appointments run. And then basically the half of the third week, you're going to start prospecting. And then that fourth week, you're going to start reaching out and getting yourself prepared for the next month. And so basically, you're setting appointments up for the next month. So you're already halfway to quota, whatever your quota is, because you've already started prospecting and reaching out for that next month. And so the strategy was, as I said, 2 weeks is like full out reaching out. So you're literally, I would come in the office around like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I would stay till like 6 or 6:30, 7 o'clock, which sounds like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of time. But necessarily, what I did is I just got ahead of everything. So I was already pretty much done by the month by the end of week 2. And then by that time, the third week was, okay, I'm having a normal schedule. So I'd come to the office as normal. Still would be early in some people's terms, but it's not as aggressive like a 6:30, 7 o'clock. And then the fourth week is like normal times again, but I'm actually prospecting and reaching out for the next month, and I'm actually building out my pipeline and the prospects that I want to go after based on tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 for that next month. So I'm strategically already ready for the next month. So all I have to do is make emails and do calls, and I don't have to prospect. So I would actually do all my prospecting for the entire month so that I wouldn't have to spend as much time prospecting, but more time reaching out and having defined research and being way more strategic in my outreach. So that's why you need to focus on the first 2 weeks of the month. You don't want to get yourself bottlenecked at the last week of the month. You're stressed out. You're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Like, it just makes more sense strategically for your mindset, and it makes more sense for your outreach for the first 2 weeks to go really, really hard, and then kind of let that filter out, as you move into the next month. So as we move into Q4, that's a strategy that I would suggest for everyone, but it's a strategy that I say for every single month, because if you're able to already set yourself up for demos or to run or appointments to run or the meeting scheduled, you already have that set for the entire month, then your month's going to be a little bit easier because you're going to be in accelerators and going over your quota, and you're also going to be setting yourself for the next month. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hope you got a lot of advice. Once again, shout out to everyone that sends me swag. Really do appreciate it. If you have dope socks you want to send me, always happy to receive those and give you guys a shout out. But as I always say, guys, keep dialing, and I'll see you guys soon.